Rockeyez would like to welcome Titus Medina, Crimson Rain. Hey man, what's up? What's going on? Who's with you today?
Well, we have our new vocalist, James Oyland, with us today as well, and I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Very good, very good. Hey James, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Cool, cool. You're coming out of Phoenix, Arizona, where it seems like it's getting to be a very popular place with, I think, Slaughter's there, Randy Piper, and a lot of other bands are starting to come out of Phoenix. Tell me a little bit about the area and the music scene there.
Well, music scene is actually, it's very metal-friendly as a whole. We get a lot of good concerts that come through here, a lot of, pretty solid metalheads around the valley overall. Music scene is kind of coming back again around here. It was good, a decade ago, kind of died down for a few years. In the past couple years, it's been coming back to life. There's been a lot of turnovers in owners of venues and names of venues, and of course the venues themselves have come and gone completely in a completely different realm. But yeah, it's pretty good overall as far as at least being metal friendly. But
right,
the sounds around here are pretty similar. You get a lot of the same sounding elements around the valley. Like I've talked to people before, I've mentioned people seem to either be trying to be the next Pantera and having a very similar, almost identical sound, or going on the death metal direction,
right?
Trying to be the next Cannibal Corpse or something along those lines.
Right.
So, yeah, in the higher level status, of course, Alice Cooper lives here. So there's several people that have come and gone in the higher ranks of rock star status, for sure. Megadeth was here for quite a while. I believe David Ellison still lives in Scottsdale, but I'm not 100% about that. But
Rob
right.
Halford lives.
With your live shows, I'm in New York, New Jersey area. Is it the same way there as it is here with a live show? People just stand there and say, go ahead and impress me if you can. How is it there?
Well, I guess it depends on what's going on. I think a lot of the problem is it's not so much the people having a negative approach to what you're doing, but rather that everybody on the stage is sounding the same, and it's hard to keep motivating people to get excited about the same sounds
right.
that the bands already sounded like, and the same image and same everything, or a different version of the same thing. Their fan base themselves, how early they started drinking, I'm sure has a lot to do with their excitement for the evening as well.
Yeah, definitely. Now, the band started in 2002?
Yeah, originally it was formed in 2002, that's right.
Right. You went through a lot of personal, changes and stuff like that, but the CD, The Calling, came out, and I was reading reviews this morning and stuff like that, and they're all favorable, like 96 out of 100 and stuff like that. So I was looking at CD Baby, I was looking at information on Metal Archives and stuff like that. And tell me a little bit about The Calling. My particular favorite song was I like Signs of the Times and Clairvoyant. Them two songs really stuck out to me, and I thought they were really amazing tracks. Can you tell me anything about the CD when, recording to release?
Yeah, when we were playing live, like, you mentioned we were formed originally in 2002. Started playing gigs as often as possible when we were ready to do so. And we were having people that were really excited about it and wanted the CD, and we didn't have one. So we had gone down the path of recording a demo, and, it's a well-known fact, you get what you pay for.
Right.
And we got a 4-song demo with what we probably should have gotten, we probably should have gotten one solid drum take in a good studio for one song with the money we spent on that, and at least in my opinion. So, and, eventually, basically, I wasn't really happy with that. And it definitely didn't do much for anything except putting us on the path of what I chose to do, which was putting the money into ourselves instead of somebody else. And I started realizing I had more time than money, so I started investing into the idea of recording it ourselves,
right.
Which is the way that it went down. I ended up just buying equipment instead of, just started funneling all the money that was going out and put it into the right direction, which is our own direction. And I started buying equipment and studying and trial and error, and definitely the school of hard knocks, learned how to, engineer and produce the album, which is what I ended up doing to get through it. Mm-hmm. And James Eden, who was the drummer until his passing in 2008, was a huge part of making everything happen. He was a really solid individual to have in the band and really did a lot to make this move on. He passed in 2008 after he recorded his drum tracks. Like a few months later, unexpectedly he died of a heart attack. And I didn't realize how close of friends we had become. And it really hit me. I realized at that point that he had become my best friend. And so I lost my best friend, and I was already pushing myself to, all my, sane, capable limits, I should say, with multitasking and getting things done with juggling so many things at the same time. And it really jacked me up pretty good. I was in shock. A lot of other things were going on, and it just shut me down in itself with that. But beyond that, in a financial direction, it was completely shut down because, I just didn't have the money. James was a big part. Jim was a big part of putting our business things together and helping me finance things. And at that point, we had crossed over into what was going to be our post-production investment, which, of course, is very expensive with the right mixing and mastering, using the right guys for that, outsourcing for that, because I knew that certain things were beyond my capability to get the right quality I was looking for.
Right.
And so the financial thing, but then, once I was able to get back on track, at least, emotionally and mentally, and get remotivated, got back on track and finished the tracks, and then, things got shut down again. The job I was in, took a huge pay cut, ended up being, basically way behind on month-to-month expenses, much less having the extra money to finish all those post things I mentioned. So all the tracks were recorded, everything was done, and then, I had to, everything was shut down, and I had to just go out basically and make the money to finish things up. And once I had the cash, I did exactly that. So, it's now available worldwide, and it's being, like you said, it's being well accepted by listeners around the globe. Everyone seems to have a different track from the CD. That's their favorite. It just kind of lets me know that we achieved the goal of creating a good album from start to finish overall, and has diverse sounding songs.
Right.
In the post-production, I chose to work with some of the, top people in the business. Ralph Patlin mixed it, which has worked with Brian Head Welch of Korn, and his first solo album that came out. And he remixed the entire Megadeth catalog in 2004 and had it mastered by the legendary Bob Ludwig. Derek Riggs, the creator of Iron Maiden's Eddie, did the artwork on the album cover, so that's kind of an interesting fact as well. So,
cool.
It was a lot of work, man, but
yeah,
got it out. It's just turned into what we are now, and it has encouraged James here beside me to join up, and we're really excited about the sounds we're getting and how this is going to sound live finally, and we're looking forward to writing and recording a second album as soon as we're able to do so.
Cool. And you did use Dan Johnson for Brian Head Welch also, didn't you?
I did not use him to record the album. He is basically, right now, I think he's a hired gun to fill in for book live shows. We had some pending shows that are still pending for the end of the year right now, and basically he's on board to play those shows and any shows that he might be available to play while he's not on the road or doing something with his main band, Red.
Right. Now, you also have a new release coming in 2015. Can you tell me anything about that?
Well, that's the new album I was discussing that we're looking into, hopefully getting into recording and getting out, hopefully in 2015.
Right.
That's the goal at this point. We have things we're working on. James just sent me an idea for a song and a general layout he has today. I mean, once we get a little bit further with where we're at and we're fully set with his existing album and a new member joined up, then we're going to hit the writing pretty hard, and once that's ready to record, we're going to lay it down. Right. So hopefully we'll have it in 2015.
Cool. Now, if a new band was starting out, what would you tell them, recommendations about the music business?
Well, as a band or as a musician?
Just to get started in the music world and stuff like that. I know it's difficult because I know how many CDs I get a week. Can you give them any information on, direction, what to follow, or any kind of information at all?
I think just follow your instincts. That's really it.
Right.
You do it because you love doing it. And as long as you stay on track with that, things just kind of fall into place the way that they should, even if it's not the way that you expect.
I'd also add start now. If you wait, every day you wait turns into a week, turns into a month, turns into a year, turns into years. No matter what your age is now, if you want to do it, start now. It takes time. It's a grueling process. It's fun, but it's a lot of work. Don't get stuck in a rut. Feed your brain. Educate yourself musically, businessly, and pay attention to the members that are around you. You want to make it, you're going to have to be better than everybody else, and you need to have everybody with you be better as well. It's like the saying goes, you're only as strong as your weakest link. So, like you have to follow your instincts, but you also have to have a good head on your shoulders to make good decisions as well. And yeah, you definitely need to get started as soon as possible, because the sooner you start, the sooner you get where you're going.
Cool. Do you feel you need a label anymore?
Yes and no. Of course, with the internet being so readily available to all of us these days, it gives you the potential to be, a success overnight. Given that I have established my own record label, Slave Driver Records, and I have that foundation to build on, and I have read extensively into the music business on several books. When you really get into the world that is out there with that, it is very overwhelming. And what you need a big label for, you need a big label when you're ready for a big label, because there are so many jobs and positions and things to handle that I think 99% of people are not even aware of all these different titles and what people's jobs are that they're doing. And especially when you go international, just dealing with the royalty system alone, with how it works from different countries to United States, and they all acknowledge a lot of the things here, but you get all the math involved. It can be pretty complicated and overwhelming. So if you don't have a good business head on your shoulders and you're not going to approach this as a businessman, you absolutely need a label to do that for you. If you think you do, a lot of people are very misinformed about the idea. They think a band and, you're going to go out and everything is going to be honky-dory and everything is going to be 100%. Everybody's going to do their part and everybody's going to, do what it takes, and that's just not the way it is, unfortunately. If everybody did, it would be awesome. You get the best you can with the people you get involved, but there are just so many different. There's just so much involved business-wise with the record, music business. That it really depends on where you're at. But to get going, you don't need one to get going at all. You need to focus on your art, your talent.
There are bands who form with the initial idea of getting signed as if that's some, archaic entity, not a human creation. But there are bands who start with that mentality, and the last thing on their mind is the songwriting. The first thing on their mind is being famous. It's completely backwards, and if you start out that way, well, you're not going to get very far. You start out doing it because you love doing it, and you just get better at it because that's what makes every day of your life absolutely magical. Is that, and as long as you do that, the right things will happen when it's supposed to happen.
Right.
If they're supposed to happen. It's just, the band that's passionate about what they do, well, people can hear that when they listen to it. And a band like that is much more likely to get picked up and, get put, playing in an arena somewhere because they stand out. A lot of these bands that start with the idea of, okay, we're going to follow this formula and then we're going to be famous. I tend to notice that they're here today and gone tomorrow.
A lot of them.
Casual observation, but yeah.
And there's pros and cons to both, ultimately. The pros to having a label is that you have somebody to run it as the business like it needs to be. The con to that is that they, you're a product at that point, unless if you know your business well enough that you're licensing your rights to them as an owner and having your own trademark of your own name and all those things. If you haven't done all that business in yourself, they're going to do that because it's part of the business that needs to be done. And because they're investing into it, that makes it theirs.
Right.
So, they have invested in you. They have paid for the trademark to be established. That trademark is licensed under the label's name. And so, and then they have, of course, all rights to do whatever they feel that needs to be done for you. And if they feel like they need to shelf you and not do anything with you, that's what they're going to do. And you won't have the right to go out and play and sell your CDs on your own because it's not under your contract. So there's those chains that come with that as well. So, it's that breaking point of crossing over into where you really need them and they need you that really works for both people. Until then, focus on doing it on your own and do it right. Establish your foundation, trademark your band name immediately, and get a lawyer. Start setting things up. Have your foundation set, and then you can expand from there into a major label if that happens.
Right. Well, Titus and James, Crimson Rain, thanks very much for the conversation today, and I wish you guys the best, and can't wait for the new CD in next year. Would you like to say anything to the fans out there before we end?
Well, just keep your eyes and ears on Crimson Rain. We are looking forward to playing live a lot, hopefully, in 2015, as well as recording and hopefully releasing our second album. So that's going to be something you'll definitely want to check out. And if you like what we're doing now, you're going to love what's going to happen then. So
keep your ears open and your eyes peeled.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Have a good day. Thanks a lot, Brian. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.